Welcome to Sleeping with Sarah. I'm Sarah Albritton, a comedian and narcoleptic, and this is a podcast where I interview people in my bed and we talk about sleep, dreams, relationships, and more. For my 19th episode, I interviewed my friend and comedian in town from LA, Grace Lusk. You can catch Grace performing on July 23rd for Tomorrow with Ron Lynch at midnight at the Steve Allen Theater, and on July 24th for Idiot Dome at 9:30 p.m. at the Clubhouse. You can also follow Grace on Twitter at Grace Lusk and check out more upcoming dates at www.gracelusk.com. This podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Please go to audibletrial.com/sleepingwithsarah to get a 30-day trial and a free audiobook of your choice. This week, I'd like to recommend Why Not Me by Mindy Kaling. Again, that's audibletrial.com/sleepingwithsarah. If you like this podcast, please rate and review on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, wherever you're listening to this podcast from. It does mean a lot. Please rate and review. This episode, Grace and I talk about lucid dreaming, slumber parties, weird food combinations, and what we believe is possible in this world. We even get into a little bit of physics. Let's get started with the show. Welcome to Sleeping with Sarah. I'm in bed, actually under the covers for the first time.
You gotta get under the covers.
With the fabulous Grace Lusk in town from LA.
Hi, hello.
Hello. How'd you sleep last night, Grace?
I slept pretty well. I am out of town, but I have a place to stay where there's always like a bedroom open for me, so it's nice. It's with my sister and two of my friends.
Oh, that's
Thanks,
perfect.
Maria, Danielle. Thanks, Bridget. And I said that in no particular order of favoritism. Just love you guys.
You got to make sure you don't have order favoritism when talking about. You said sisters?
It's my sister and two of my oldest friends.
Oh, that's awesome. Not old as an age, but oldest as in
they're like 87 years old. They're with my little sister. She's an old soul. No, they've been around for a while.
That's fun. So it's almost like a slumber party then. Like
every night, I love a good slumber party.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you usually sleep pretty well in general?
Yeah, I sleep well. I enjoy getting a lot of sleep. I have a lot of I think I may have taught myself how to lucid dream, kind of.
Oh, you taught yourself. Was this like you watched Waking Life and you're like, I want to do it?
No, didn't even watch that. But I've found myself where I can I will remember in the morning being in a dream, whether it be scary or maybe some sort of adventure dream or something, mm-hmm. and I realize that I'm in a dream.
And so do you end up continuing the adventure, being a hero? That's awesome.
And I can kind of come in and out of it.
Oh, that's awesome. So sometimes you're in control, sometimes you're not?
Right.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
So I really do enjoy dreaming. Sometimes they're scary. One time it was we were being lured into a mansion, in a cave, and we had to find our way out of it.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure there were vampires involved.
Oh, wow.
It gets a little scary.
That's interesting.
One time I had to try and save my little sister from a bunch of dope fiends, and I don't think I did.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
People were dope fiends and turning into zombies.
So do you wake up and in a sweat or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, sometimes I'll get a little sweaty. Or I live with my boyfriend, and I think he's heard me say some random stuff. I can't remember exactly what it is right now, but he's heard me say some things in my sleep.
But you never hit him or moved or done anything like that in your sleep?
Never him, but I have kicked someone in the balls while sleeping.
You kicked someone in the balls while sleeping?
Yeah.
Oh man! Well, so it
was quite a shock for him.
So what was it? It was just you were having a crazy dream, and
yeah, I just rolled over, just cool, and he was just right there. I didn't mean it wasn't I meant to in my dream, but it was just a very abrupt movement of my knee.
Was it someone you were dating, or was it just someone a friend?
Yeah, it was someone I was dating.
Yeah, so he was cool with it. He forgave you.
He definitely forgave me, but I'm not sure he's forgotten.
I don't think you'll ever forget the first time you've been kicked in the balls mid-sleep.
Yeah.
That's a
that
rude
one will
awakening.
stick with you. That one sticks with you. What about you? What's your sleep thing?
Oh, my sleep thing, I have narcolepsy, so I sleep all the time.
Oh, really?
And I've got a lot of weird stuff, yeah.
I live with someone like that, and she would just kind of you'd look over and she'd be napping on a couch.
That's what happens. I do that a lot, and sometimes I'll randomly like, it doesn't have as much, but sometimes I'll have a cataplexy where I fall to the ground and fall asleep. But it used to happen a lot in high school, but not as much anymore.
Yeah.
And I have hallucinations sometimes when I dream, too. So.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which is interesting because, like, some of them are cool, but a lot of them were scary. Like, growing up, every morning I'd have a spider crawling in my leg or something crazy, and I wouldn't be able to, like, wake up. So I have a lot of weird sleep stuff. So I've gotten used to it, though. It's hard to explain. It's kind of, after you've been doing it for, like, 10 years, it becomes normal. It's like,
becomes part of your whole thing, your life.
I mean, I take medicine to stay awake. I still fall asleep sometimes if I get really comfy or warm or...
Do you find that are you more awake during the night or during the day?
I think during the day, I think sunlight helps me. But, like, I'm not a morning person, so I don't know. Basically, whenever I take my medicine is when I feel awake.
Yeah.
So basically, if I feel tired, I'll take my medicine and then I'll be awake, like, 20 minutes later. My friends will be able to tell. They'll be like, "Oh, Sarah, you're suddenly talking faster. Your medicines are kicking in."
Oh, dang.
Yeah, because
I never noticed that with you. I never noticed you, like, and then, like, that would be funny if you... Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Funny,
no. I would
if you,
fall
like,
asleep
slowed down like a battery-losing life.
Yeah.
Oh, pop it. Get it in.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's funny because my close friends can notice it now. And, like, sometimes at mics, like, at the later mics, like, I'll definitely, like, sometimes I'll take a nap on the bar. But thankfully, everyone knows that I have narcolepsy, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But there are some cases where I've been out with friends and I've just been really tired of falling asleep at the bar. And the bartender just thinks I'm drunk. And I'm not drunk. I'm just really tired.
Yeah.
And so it's like that weird mixture of things where people might see me and think, oh, she's a lush, she's drunk. And really, I'm just really tired.
Well, I've never had that thought about you. You always seem to have it together.
Oh, well, I don't have it together at all.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh.
None of us do, I guess.
Well, you're in LA. That's pretty cool. Like,
yeah, I do like living in LA. It's really fun. It's the weather is great, and I have some friends that I've known for a while, friends from college and prior to college, that live real close to me. So it's like I have a little family out there.
That's cool.
And it's good. It's a really fun place, and people are actually very nice. The traffic sucks.
Yeah, I feel like people are nice too. Like I've been in LA twice in the last like 6-7 months or so, and like every time I go back, it's like I run into a friend I haven't seen in like 8 years, you know, and it's like, oh wow, you're a cool person. I don't, you know, like, so I know like if I go out there eventually, I'll have people I know. Which
I think
is cool.
it attracts a lot of good people, and there's a lot of good people from there. So it's, I don't know. I haven't heard anybody really hate on LA in a long time, you know? So I don't know if there's people who do still, but...
I don't know. I think the one of my friends who just recently moved there like a month ago said like, I guess like a lot of people are like always asking like, oh, who do you work for? Or what do you do? Who represents you? And like all that. But maybe that's just like when you first get there. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like I guess it's kind of like where people always want something from you, I guess. I don't know. That's what I've heard. But,
yeah.
But I haven't really experienced that because everyone I've hung out with is pretty cool, so.
I once met a guy at a bar who tried to hit on me by showing me how many likes he got on a Facebook post. Wait. And I was like, this could only happen in LA.
But was he like, look at how many followers I have. Look at how many retweets.
No, he was like putting his phone in my face. So I was listening to this really good band, and he's putting my phone in his phone in my face. And he was like, look right here. And I'm like, please just get your phone. I don't know. You get your phone on my face. And he's like, but look at this picture. Look at how many likes my picture got. And I was like, are you kidding me? And he smacked his phone out of his hand.
That's insane. I wonder do you think that can't work on people? Do you think?
I thought about it, and I think, like, statistically, in the bar that we were in, there were enough people there that if he played his odds right and went up to every single woman in there might be one, you know? Wow. One in, like, 150, 200 people. Wow. I think might be like, oh, wow, like, why?
It's a numbers.
Why did you get so much? Yeah, it's literally a numbers game.
How many likes was it? Was it an impressive number?
I did not look, and I don't care. You know what I mean? I did not see. I didn't want to know.
Have you ever met someone that was, like, well-known, but you didn't know who they were? Like somebody whose name you knew, but you didn't know their face or something like that?
I've seen the kid from Jack Frost, the movie.
Oh, wow.
I don't know his name, but I've seen him a surprising amount of times in L.A. It's like 3 times now. I've never, like, said anything to him, but I always am like, that's the kid from Jack Frost, the movie.
I think my fear is, like, because, like, I don't know, I guess my worry would be, like, what if I start a conversation with someone, because I'm really bad with faces and names, like, really bad, and worried about, like, getting a conversation with someone and, like, realizing, like, an hour later after the conversation that, oh, that was somebody that, like, I really, you know, like, I'd heard of or I knew or admired or something, and embarrassed that I didn't know who they were, like an author or something, like, if I had a conversation with Nick Hornby and didn't know what he looked like in person and just met him as Nick, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
cool.
that would be like, and, like, afterwards I'd be like, wait, like, I would have talked to you about so many more interesting things than what I just talked to you about.
No, he probably feels refreshed to just have a normal conversation. That's what I feel like with a lot of celebrities. It's like they have so many people approaching them about their work that it might just be interesting for them to have a normal conversation.
That's a good point.
Do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, well, I usually don't. If it is somebody well-known, I usually do just approach it with a normal conversation. I used to work at Lakeshore Theater back in the day, and so I met a lot of people that were just through my job that were well-known and stuff, and I learned how to converse with people, like, in a normal way, I think, where I'm not like, hey, like, I've never been the person that's like, hey, can I get a picture with you, ever, like, I'd rather talk to someone and be cool with them or be like, hey, good set, than want a photo with them. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
But, yeah, so is this the first time you've ever been in bed with a lady?
No, I have sleepovers with my friends all the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, I'm a big fan of sleepovers. I think we've, like, had a lot of my girlfriends from college, like, when we would have parties or something, everyone would just sleep over, and you'd just end up with, like, 6 girls in a bed like this, all just, like, little sardines. And then you wake up in the morning, and you're like, how did we sleep like this?
That's crazy. That's awesome.
But, yeah, so...
Were you a fan of sleepovers growing up?
Oh, yeah. I loved sleepovers.
Was it your house that was a sleepover house?
Yeah, I threw a lot of sleepover birthday parties.
Oh, that's awesome.
I loved sleepovers when I was little. They would get, like, really dramatic, though. Sleepovers were dramatic.
Oh, my God, they were.
If you had, like, more than 3 people... Well, even 3 is tough. If you cannot have even a number of girls at a sleepover, because then they split up into, like, 2 teams. It's like some weird thing. I don't know. Well, I felt like every time that I had an even number of girls over, it was always like everybody started pairing up against each other.
But then if it's only 3, then you feel like one person feels left out because the other 2 are closer.
That's true.
It's always crazy.
It's a weird dynamic. I loved them so much. I loved seeing how late we could stay up. I loved, like, being a bunch of girls on a bed being like, it's midnight. We can do this. Or, like, it would be 10 p.m. and we'd be like, we're getting a midnight snack at midnight. Yeah. We're going to sneak down at exactly midnight. And then, of course, you, like, fall asleep before.
And then there are also, like, the cool moms that would, like, make, like, a Sunday spread or something for, like, midnight or whatever they decided late night. Like,
that would be sweet.
Like,
that would be the day.
Like, I don't know. Like, there are some people that had the coolest sleepovers, you know? Like, were you the cool girl?
I don't know. I don't know what cool sleepovers are. We definitely would, like, take pairs of socks and put them in our training bras to make it look like we had boobs. Like, is that cool? Is that cool? What is cool when you're 10?
Yeah, I know. God, we would definitely, like, we would play Truth or Dare and do stupid stuff, like have to call boys and things like that. Like,
yeah, prank calls were fun. I was the person who, like, could not watch scary movies at sleepovers because I had a really active imagination.
See, the thing is, I wasn't allowed to watch R-rated movies, so anytime we were able to, I was, like, kind of excited. I was like, oh, cool.
Oh, my God.
But I am not...
I had so many friends who could do it, and I just could not handle it. Like, I think at one point, like, they were watching, like, Silence of the Lambs or something, and I had to go upstairs and hang out with my friend's little sister.
I have still not seen that movie.
Silence of the Lambs.
No, still have not. I'm not huge on horror. I like suspense. So I don't like the blood and gore ones, but, like, the suspense, like Scream, I like. Okay. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like, these are some that I remember being able to see. Or I technically wasn't allowed to see them. I think I just snuck and watched them at my friend's house or something. Yeah. I wasn't allowed to watch R-rated movies until I was, like, 17, basically.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even trying to for some of them. For the scary ones, yeah, I'm not into it. I remember I actually once started having a series of dreams about Samara from The Ring.
Oh.
And it was like kind of a turning point for me with nightmares, was when Samara was in my dream, but then I realized that I could kind of control what kind of character Samara was.
So did you turn her into something silly?
So she just became like a lonely girl instead of something that was trying to kill me. And
oh, that's cool.
And then we ate Funyuns on a couch.
Oh, that is so cool, turning your nightmare into something else.
And then it was like, the Funyuns, though, were really little Funyuns for some reason. They're just really tiny Funyuns. Really tiny. That's what I remember.
Miniature Funyuns. Do they have mini Funyuns?
Oh, God, they should.
Funyuns, you need to get on that.
Yes.
We need mini Funyuns.
Funyun cereal, like Cheerios, but with Funyuns.
Is that your dream
And then you put
food?
Mountain Dew into it.
I have a feeling you got a lot of weird food combinations you like.
I used to just eat ketchup on bread when I was little. I was like, sneak ketchup on white bread. It was my favorite snack.
When I was little, I didn't like ketchup because it reminded me of blood. So I didn't eat ketchup until I was probably in college.
Yeah, I loved ketchup. I could put it on everything.
That was what my brother did. He used to put it on every meal. He would put ketchup on everything.
Yeah. No,
you were that. Yeah.
I was so into that.
That's awesome. The only weird food pairing I think I have is sometimes I'll slice bananas and put it on cheese pizza.
Oh, interesting. I would try it. I will try anything on pizza.
Well, the reason I did that was, I guess there's, they always played cartoon reruns and stuff growing up. So I remember when I was a kid, I watched one of the Doug episodes where he takes a cooking class with Patty and they're spinning a pizza, right?
I remember
and they
this
make
one.
a pizza and then Roger spills banana pudding on the pizza and I was like, what would it be like if I sliced, because I was like Kevin McAllister, always eating cheese pizza. That's all I ate. So I was like, what if I slice banana and put it on cheese pizza? So I tried it once and I was like, it's good.
It's good. Sweet and salty. If you like sweet and salty.
It's like if you like the pineapple on the pizza, then you'd like it. So what I'll do sometimes.
Do you cook it in there with it? It's like a little bit cooked banana?
No, I leave it, I let it just raw.
I wonder what would happen if you would, because I think cooked banana is pretty good.
Maybe I should try that.
Maybe just put it in the oven at the end for like a couple minutes.
I'll try that.
I'm so into food experience.
No, I love that. That's a really good idea. I should try that.
Yeah, you should. You should try melting it, see what happens.
Melting it a little bit. I'm gonna experiment. Next week I'm gonna be back with you guys and be like, hey, I tried that banana pizza with the melting. It's great.
Well, I once had it with chocolate sauce on it, and that's good too.
Ooh, wait, pizza? Mm-hmm. Chocolate sauce. Ooh, that's interesting. Now, is this like a homemade pizza where you put it in the oven, or you just
like a frozen one?
A frozen one,
like a frozen pea.
That's awesome.
Like a Jack's.
A Jack's. You gotta add something to the Jack's pizza. You know?
Yeah. Oh, always. We were always adding things to Jack's pizza.
What's have you ever?
I might go grab it. I feel like I'm gonna go grab a Jack's pizza after this and go make myself a Jack's pizza. Maybe I'll even put the banana in there. I don't know.
Have you ever done anything really weird, try to put Skittles in there or something?
Candy.
Not like that weird.
Well, I mean, chocolate syrup, but I don't know though. I would for sure try it. Like if I had a bag of Skittles next to a slice of pizza, no way. I'd put some on there and try
it. That's awesome. So
I'll combine anything. I'm kind of like my dad. Like if there's like a meal in front of me, you can mix it all together and then.
That's great. Is that the same with alcohol too?
Mix all of them together.
Yes.
Oh God.
I feel like every time you drink alcohol, it's like a different section of your... I had a friend, anytime she drank vodka, she'd always cry, Oh,
yeah.
I feel like there's always that different type of thing. And when you mix it, it's kind of like a suicide, like with soda, You never know what's going to happen. I don't know.
I know. I'm getting the worst hangovers ever, so I try to keep it pretty simple with alcohol.
Yeah, what's your drink of choice?
I don't really have one, like a cheap beer.
Yeah. Whatever's free, basically.
Free, cheap beer, a Miller Lite, probably.
That's cool.
I'm a sad...
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Uncivilized person.
Hey, at least it's not like some,
It's just
snooty...
easy to drink more of, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like white. I like an Allagash white.
Those are good.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. Beer, I'm still I really like ciders is what I like. I like myself an Angry Orchard.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But, I mean, I'll also do a Stella or if I'm in a mood of being fancy, I like a Delirium Tremens.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, those are good.
Those are good. Yeah, yeah. But I feel like with all the craft beer, it's hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
There's so many.
I know.
But yeah, like...
Do you ever have, like, weird dreams associated with drinking?
Well, I noticed that sometimes things are heightened when I drink. So when I probably snore and talk more in my sleep when I drink. Like, for sure. I'm pretty... Like, with my ex, he used to say, like, could always tell when I drank a little too much because I would always... talk in my sleep. Vocal. Or, like, yeah, well, I talk in my sleep anyways, like... So I think when I'm drunk, it just kind of heightens it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when I talk in my sleep, it's not really understandable. It's not like you can have a conversation. It's like I'm just saying something that doesn't make sense. But one time I tried to start talking Chinese. Like, I don't speak Chinese at all, but apparently I was just like, no, you know, like trying to sound like I was Chinese.
That's amazing.
And he's like, it sounded like Chinese, but I had no idea what you were saying. I was like,
let's get a translator. Maybe you can speak Chinese.
Maybe I could speak Chinese, but only in my sleep.
Mandarin, you know.
Yeah, I mean, man, just like put me to sleep, and then I can start doing some negotiations in China. You know, that'll work.
There you go. That's what we'll do. This is my new business.
Your new business?
I come over when you sleep, and I trade the
stocks. Stocks.
Have you ever tried laying like this in bed? I know it makes you look like a dead person.
Oh my gosh, it makes you feel like a vampire.
It's quite comfortable.
I don't know. I move way too much in my sleep. Like
maybe you wouldn't.
I move all over in my sleep. Like I'm not really dating anyone right now, so it's like I like just take over the whole bed, and I'm just like whatever.
That's a nice way to be. I'll do that sometimes. End up like sideways. I used to move a lot more. I just think it's comfy.
I feel like you're almost like on a like it feels like a roller coaster thing, like almost.
Oh yeah, it's like a little hug. You're just giving yourself a little hug.
Yeah. So it's nice, but honestly, like when if I'm seeing someone, I like to cuddle. I'm a cuddler, you know.
Yeah.
But and with my dog, my mom has my dog right now, but when she stayed with me, she used to like curl up against me, which I liked, you know. So she's like perfect with that.
That would be fun to have a dog to cuddle with.
Yeah, I think she found the perfect way. She'd make herself the smallest, but find the way to like fill any negative space between us. It was very cute.
Cute.
Do you have any pets or anything?
No, I used to have some hamsters. I had a lizard growing up.
Oh, wow.
I tried to save a baby bird once that was internally bleeding, but...
Oh, wow. That's, like, heartbreaking. Like, where did you find this bird?
On my front porch. It had fallen out of a nest. So I was, like, determined. So I started trying to, like, keep it up and, like, feed it throughout the night, and it would chirp. It was very sad, but... You know, it just didn't work out, but we tried. We had a funeral. We had a funeral for her. Her name was Sis, and I played the flute.
You played the flute? You played the flute?
For her funeral, yeah.
Oh. Nice.
And in general in grade school.
I remember playing the recorder. We had to learn how to play the recorder, which isn't exactly like the flute, but it's kind of similar.
Yeah.
It's like the easy version of the flute.
I have a recorder at my boyfriend has a recorder at the house, and I've been telling myself I want to learn how to play songs on it, so thank you.
Oh, yes.
For reminding me.
Next time I'm going to be like, hey, how's your recorder skills going?
Dude, I need to do that, because I miss playing an instrument. I think that was very...
I didn't ever really learn an instrument fully. They started me with the violin when I was 5, and I was super small for my age, so even the child's violin was too big for my little hands.
Yeah.
And, like, I was so small for my age. When I was 10, I was in a play, and I played a 5-year-old. Like, that's how small I was, growing up.
Whoa.
And then I tried to play guitar when I was 10, and then I broke my wrist 3 months later. So then I stopped playing guitar. My guitar career ended.
Oh, wow.
And I know a few chords on guitar, and I have a ukulele that I'm, like, kind of learning to play, but I don't know very much on it. So it's like, I wish we had a piano growing up. My parents have a piano in their house now. I was like, why didn't you get this when I was growing up? Because when I was growing up, I would have learned to play, because I like the piano. Yeah. What do you play?
I used to play the piano as well. I don't play anything. I used to play the flute. I used to play the piano, and I haven't done it in a while.
Do you sing at all?
Oh, yeah, I love to sing. I love to sing.
I could see you as singing.
Like karaoke, yeah.
Yeah. I love the live band karaoke where there's like a full band behind you.
Yeah, it feels pretty cool.
Yeah, you feel like a rock star.
For sure.
Oh, a rock star, huh? Like, people always compare like rock stars to comedians, and I think rock stars are infinitely cooler.
I think that rock stars think that they're infinitely cooler too, probably.
Yeah, but I don't know. So I don't know. It's interesting.
I saw a pretty douchey rock star last weekend.
Yeah, what happened?
I was like, this guy stinks. We went to see Steve Miller Band, and I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy is talented. He's very talented, and he's got a nice voice still at his age. So it was a good show. Played Fly Like an Eagle. I Flew Like an Eagle. It was great. But he would, like, be such a douche in between songs. Like, at one point, he brought out, like, a double neck guitar, and when he had it, like, brought out to him, he was like, this is one of my 50 guitars.
Oh, really?
And then in the song, he only played the bottom half of it, so he never played, like, the top neck. So it was like, you didn't even need to play that guitar, you just brought it out because it looks cool.
That's
and people
lame.
are like, yeah, rock on!
That's kind of lame. That's like, I wonder, like, yeah. Do you think he's always asking people, like, oh, look at how many likes my double guitar got on Facebook?
Yeah, he's approaching women at bars, like, look at how many likes my guitar got on Facebook.
It's worth like 50
And he
grand.
does it 200 times, and then finally it works. And that's how Steve Miller gets laid.
I think it is interesting how guys do try all these different tactics, like the whole negging thing and that. Like, do you ever get that?
Oh, when they, try to, like, diss you to make you want to be into them.
Yeah. That always drives me
I don't
nuts.
play those games.
No, me either.
Got a great boyfriend. He doesn't play those games. We do play card games, and we play Settlers of Catan.
You play Settlers of Catan?
For sure.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize you were into that stuff.
Heck yes.
That's awesome. I played Risk recently. I've only played it a couple times, but I played Risk one night. I nerded it out.
I never played Risk before.
Risk, I don't know what Settlers Catan is, but Risk is like you're trying to take over different countries.
It's kind of like that. It's
Yeah.
a similar game to that.
You know,
You're trying to build up different cities.
I've always wanted to play that game in Parks and Rec that
That he makes that.
Yes, the Cones of Dracor or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, I really wish that they made that into a real game because
They might. Have you Googled it?
No, I should look that up.
I bet they have.
Adam Scott is so adorable.
Yeah.
But I love that part. I was like, oh, that's cool. So you're kind of you're a little nerdy, yeah? You like some of those games and stuff?
Sure. Yeah, I think a lot of people do. Settlers is super fun. And I love board games. I'll play a board game. I like card games. Like.
Do you get super competitive with them at all?
Yeah. We played Settlers of Catan, and I actually have fun with it. I actually don't think I'm too competitive. We did play with my boyfriend's family once, and I was like, Grace, you need to reel it in. You know what I mean? Like, I was getting a little sassy, and I was just like, this is not the time. But I also did win, so it's fine.
As long as you won, you were fine. See, we used to always have Thanksgivings. We used to have like epic Trivial Pursuit games, you know, with my family, and it would always end, and like we'd always be like, we're always hard headed. We would be like screaming about this, one thing, and then we just drink and it would be fine.
Yeah.
My family holidays always involve lots of drinking, and that's fun.
It is fun. Yeah, I love seeing my family. I'm glad I got to see my family this week.
Yeah.
And go to a Steve Miller show with them. That's who I went with. The show with my family.
Now, were they impressed by the double guitar, or were they like...
No, everybody thought it was funny. But it was a fun show. We did for my dad's birthday, and he wasn't even really a Steve Miller Band, like, a huge fan, but you can't deny that the guy has hits. So
yeah, right?
It was fun. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Let's see. Oh, and you said, so did your night near thing ever, like, slowly, did you ever get over it, or is it still happen?
I was afraid of the monster in the dark until I was, like, 15, the monster in the closet until I was, like, 15 years old. So, like, I used to sleep with the light on in my closet, and then I just eventually, in high school, just stopped worrying about it.
Mm-hmm. And now you can control your dreams.
Kind of, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Sometimes I'll find myself in a dream. I can also, if I'm in a dream, I'm just like, oh, I don't like this one. And just, like, wake myself up a little bit and then I'll put myself back to sleep and it's something else.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Are you ever anybody else other than yourself?
No.
No. And you dream...
Is that a thing that people can be?
I have done that before.
Oh, wow.
So I've definitely had dreams... I've had dreams that have been very, very long. Like...
I may have been. I don't know.
Sometimes they're like months. Like it feels like it's been months. Like and
you've been having the same dream.
No, like in my dream, it feels like I'm living a life that's like last months.
Oh wow!
So I've had very weird, trippy things like that, and times when I've been other people. Like I've been like a little girl. I've been men. Sometimes like just different perspectives and stuff.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Which is really weird, and it almost makes you wonder, like, oh my gosh, what if I'm actually connecting into somebody else's dreams or like their memories or something.
I would believe that.
Yeah.
I think that that's really cool. I think that, I think there are people who are more intuitive than others and who look more deeply into like their own mind. And I think a good amount of those people do psychological drugs and but also, like, I think it's cool. I think that you can connect to... I have no idea what the universe holds. Or, like, they're even starting to prove the existence of other dimensions through physics.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I don't know much about it.
I used to have a theory on dreams. I used to think that dreams... Because you know how you have deja vu sometimes, right? So my theory used to be, like, what if every dream you have is something that could happen in the future and only ones that actually do are the deja vus?
Whoa.
Right?
That just blew my mind. I have deja vu a lot.
Isn't that crazy though? But what if like every dream you have is like a possibility, like, the whole like butterfly effect. Like if everything happened, like every dream you have is a possibility of actually coming to life, and the only ones that do are deja vus. Like that's...
What? That just blew my mind. Oh my God, because I have deja vu a lot.
Yeah?
And I dream a lot, you know what I mean? And I don't remember all of my dreams, but I do remember some of my dreams.
Yeah.
So that is really crazy. I'm like, I'll be in a moment, I'll be like, I feel like this has already happened.
Yeah. See, mine is sometimes also like feeling something, like you smell a smell or you think a thought, and like that's part of my deja vu. So it's like a different level of it's like, wait, it's so weird. Yeah,
I like that theory a lot, though. That just blew my mind. Changed my whole perspective.
What has been a memorable deja vu? Did you ever...
I don't know. They come a lot, and I don't have anything memorable.
Do you ever think of it before it happens? You're like, oh, I know this is about to happen.
No, it's more like something just happened, and I felt like it wasn't the first time.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Do you believe in, like, past lives or time travel or any of that other stuff to explain that feeling?
I don't believe in one of those things. I believe that a multitude of things are possible,
Yeah.
I believe that we're always learning new things about our world, and who knows what we'll know in, 300 years.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. I mean, because think about what we learned in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Crap, we went from, like, cars and planes and computers, and so much has changed in the last 30 years,
Yeah.
That's kind of insane. But I do think that the mind is something that's kind of, I don't know. I do believe that some people can do things, like, I do believe in, like, telekinesis, and things like that. And some people can connect telepathically or have the feeling. Like, my aunt and my mom share a dream. Like, they'll have the same dream the same night, and it's a scary dream, and one will usually wake the other up with a phone call.
My good friend just told me that this happened to her.
Oh, yeah?
My good friend, I was just on the phone with her, and she said that her sister, who is like very pregnant in the moment, they shared the same dream, and they were like talking in the next couple of days, and they both like talked about having the same dream.
Wow. I guess I feel like when you connect with someone enough, you can kind of sense that,
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a different level of like clairvoyance when you're close with somebody.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You can feel like someone's in trouble or something. Like anytime I've ever had a scary dream about like my family or something happening, I call them and I don't care if it's 3 a.m. or whatever. I will call them and wake them and be like, hey, I just had a really scary dream. I want to make sure you're okay. Yeah. And I know that's silly, but it's like,
no, I think that if you are aware, like a lot of my dreams I forget, and a lot of them don't so much pertain to my actual life. Like they become like some sort of fantasies. But I think that I would, if it felt like super real in my dream, I would definitely.
Yeah, there have only been a couple times that is like that. Like one time I had a dream that we were all in a car wreck, and I woke up like crying, like because I felt it, like it felt so real, and I was like, I have to call everyone and make sure they're okay, and they get it. They're like, okay, I get that.
Or I heard of like my friend's mom like having a dream, like right around when her father passes away, of them like riding in a convertible together, and they have like a long talk about life. You know what I mean? It's like, who knows? Like,
you think he's just coming into her dream and like kind of like saying goodbye a little bit?
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, that one was crazy too, because her grandfather, my friend's grandfather, after he passed away, like had a couple. He ran a bar that I worked at for a little bit back in Chicago, and there was a moment when his son was like leaving the bar and after he had passed, and this is actually her other grandfather. I think they're two different grandfathers on her mom and her dad's side. And her dad's side, he was leaving the bar and his father's favorite song turned on the jukebox. And his father's, like, walking stick was, like, in the bar where it hadn't been before. Isn't that creepy?
Oh, that's crazy.
But it's also, like, very cool.
Comforting. Like, for that, I think that would be comforting. You know, a little bit like, hey, he's still here kind of thing.
Yeah. I had a weird dream the other day, too, like, where I was coming out of a sleep at my sister's apartment. And I was like, my friend and I had talked about how we thought there might be a ghost associated with one of the chairs in their apartment, which is like an older chair. And my other friend who got the chair says it might have like bad energy to it. So like when I was coming out of my nap, I was thinking about that, and I looked at the chair, and then I felt like a huge like pressure on my legs, like holding my legs down, and I like kind of saw something, like I thought I saw just like a dot or something like moving kind of, and I just like had this feeling where I was like, whoa, like
so like they added pressure, like he just like
it was like
pushing
some
down on you?
huge pressure on my legs. Yeah.
Oh wow, you were able to stand up still, right? Or?
No, I wasn't able to move for like a second or two.
Oh wow, that's terrifying.
And then this happened like 3 days ago.
What? Wait,
I don't know, and I don't know if it was just like I have no idea what it was. Like I'm not holding too much weight to it. You know what I mean? Like it could have been like because I do switch in and out of that state. You know, in my dream, like sometimes when I'm half asleep, I can experience weird things.
Yeah, that's,
you know what I mean?
That's like when my hallucinations happen when I'm half awake, you know?
Yeah.
I'll experience stuff and it feels really real, and even though it's not there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I just had this like moment of like, it felt like very real, but it also felt like something I could control. You know what I mean?
How?
So I was like, this is going to be, like, I felt like, I was like, okay, you just need to calm yourself down, basically. Like, accept whatever this presence is and just calm down.
See,
and then a few seconds later, it was...
See, I think that's a good way to look at it, because I feel like with that kind of stuff, it's like any kind of ghosts or other things, I feel like if you give off the vibe that you're terrified, you know, then that's going to, like, give them more energy. And it's like, if you're more like just chill, like, hey... You do you, I do me, you know, we're just going to be chill, then they'll back
And it's
off.
probably better for your mind, too. Like, if it is something that your mind is causing, just to be like, this isn't a big deal, it's going to pass, will make your mind be like, yes.
Yeah.
So who knows? I don't know. I've more questions. I have so many questions, and no answers, but...
Yeah. Man, that's cool, though. Like, I never know, yeah. I don't know, it's just like the world, there's so many different things that happen, and... Sometimes I wonder if ghosts are just people's hallucinations. Like, maybe there's just a gas leak at, like, a house that's supposed to be haunted. But then I wonder, maybe there's... I don't know. I'm very open to what's possible, you know. And I didn't realize that they were discovering different dimensions. That's really interesting.
It's, like, some new metaphysical theory associated with string theory, where they're trying to connect, like the largest versions of physics with, like, the micro physics with, huge metaphysics.
Wow. So,
what's it called, metaphysics?
So what, in the different dimensions, are there, like, different versions of us, or just different versions of the world?
I can't get into this.
Okay, sorry.
I need to do some research. No, because I don't want to talk about it in a way that I don't understand. But I know, I remember there's a book by Brian Greene that I read for a little bit, and he tries to explain. You can look it up on YouTube. Just look at Brian Greene on YouTube, and
that sounds interesting.
He explains how they're, due to theory, they're kind of finding these dimensions to connect these two micro and macro physics. It involves the existence of other dimensions.
That's interesting. Another weird theory I used to have is I would think of, because I was in high school or whatever learning about, like, atoms and stuff like that, how you got, like, the nucleus, which is, like, the middle, and you got, like, the protons and electrons, like, circling around it. I was like, oh, like, what if, like, the sun and the planets are basically just, like, a nucleus and electrons, and we're just, like, a small little atom inside of the bigger thing.
I mean, seeing patterns in nature is... you know, what science is all about. It's great. But, you can... I think there are totally parallels between... you know, the very, very small. And you'll see, and they show you that in a lot of things, like with cells, and then also the way, like, leaves turn out, you know, patterns in plants.
Did you study science?
In, like, high school,
yeah. You sound, like, really interested in it. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I do. I like physics. Yeah. I think that's interesting. But I haven't, like, done a ton of research on it. But
no, I think that's really cool.
I like nature, too. I like being out in nature a lot.
Well, now you're in LA, so you can, like, hike and all that stuff.
Yeah, I know. I haven't gone hiking. I try to go camping with my boyfriend James as much as possible.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Being out in nature is great.
It's great. The last time we went camping out in California, it was a new moon, and we went up by the Sierra Nevada mountains on the... What side are we? We were on, like, the west side of the Sierra Nevadas. And we saw all these people when we were heading into our campsite, all these people with, like, giant telescopes, like $2,000 to $4,000 telescopes. So late one night, like, we went down there, and and then, of course, they were like, yeah, look in our telescopes. And they were all, like, showing us, like, different things where we could see Jupiter and all of Jupiter's moons clearly. Like, you could see Saturn and the rings, and, like, you can see the colors and everything. Like,
oh, that's awesome.
It was really beautiful.
That's really cool.
I'm into that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that stuff is really beautiful, and seeing, like...
It's so hard for me to fathom, like, seeing it right here, and you're like, the size of Jupiter, like trying to fathom the size of Jupiter in real life is just pretty mind-blowing to me.
Well, it's just, you think about how small we are just compared to, like, the sun or everything, you know?
Yeah.
And the fact that there are other little universes like ours, like other places, and, I mean, that's why I definitely think there are life on other planets somewhere, you know? There's life somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
But it's, that's pretty crazy.
I think there could have been life on Mars, and I think that, you know, what happened to Mars could be happening to us pretty... I have this theory that, like, probably, like, Joshua Tree, you know, those desert areas, those are probably what Mars looked like before it, you know, became unlivable. Like, the beginning stages of plants and things starting to get very defensive, like, because everything in the desert that you see, and, like, everything that you see in these, like, very dry areas is these very, like, spiky plants. It almost looks like it's from another planet. You know, if you ever go to Joshua Tree, you see these... It's all very defensive.
That's interesting.
So it, like, reminds me of what it would have been like, and I think...
so you think that maybe just... Do you think the sun is getting bigger and just the planets are heating up and that's what happens? Or?
Yeah, that's... I mean, eventually we'll be encompassed by the sun. The sun, you know, expands. Those kinds of stars will expand, and then they implode.
And then create a black hole that way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure I was right on that.
So. I think we need a black hole. They can create a black hole. They don't always create a black hole.
Wow. Yeah, so eventually the Earth will just be enveloped by the sun. Wow.
Yeah.
If we don't destroy it first.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, I think, you know, we're talking billions and billions of years, but eventually, this will be uninhibited. Like, that's just what happens.
Yeah. That's life, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
we're just that close to the sun that it's inevitable.
Wow.
But who knows what will happen to the human race, you know?
Yeah, if we don't destroy the Earth. That's why I like, so I find, like, the oceans really interesting, because, like, they have their own kind of ecosystem and the way things work. I feel like it's so much more harmonious than what we have above ground, above water, you know?
For sure. And
it's like, why haven't we figured out how to be as, you know, cohesive? And I get, like, some of them eat other things, but it's not like, you know, lots of, you know, fish are going extinct because certain people like to hunt, certain sharks like to hunt only this kind of fish. You know what I mean?
There's no other species causing things to go extinct, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there's no other species that are fucking up things like we fuck up things.
And there's invasive species. So there are species that do, like, invade, like, plants and stuff that do invade, and, like even in Lake Michigan. Yeah. There's an algae in Lake Michigan. Like, I don't know if you look out at Lake Michigan, but it's, like, super blue. Like, crazy blue. But it's a lake. Usually a lake, you'll see lots of, like, other plants that make a lake greener. But it's a really blue lake because there's actually, like, kind of like an invasive algae that's killing off a lot of plant life in it.
I didn't ever think of that, like, invasive algae.
Yeah, there's tons of invasive species. Like, that's why they have, like, controlled forest fires, is to get rid of, like, species of trees that are taking over environments. And that another idea of invasive species is a tree that takes over an environment, but it's not one that other things in the ecosystems can use. You know, it's like that's what makes it invasive.
It's useless.
Yeah.
So it doesn't like provide oxygen, or like.
No, it provides oxygen, but like it takes over a place where something that was providing something like nutrient for like other species in the area needed.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's coming from another type of environment where it doesn't correlate with.
It's kind of like a weed, like in a way.
Yeah.
Like, kind of invasive, like in the way. That's interesting. I guess I didn't think about it like that. That's cool. What is your, what does your tattoo say?
Oh, it says uprashted. It means in the middle, in Czech.
Oh, do you speak Czech?
No, not really. I lived in Prague for like 5 months when I was in college. I studied there for a bit, and I just really liked this word. I learned it, and I once had a lady speak it to me when I was asking where the metro was, which is about the extent of the conversations I would have. But I just remember hearing her saying it, Rrated, and
that's really cool.
And I liked it. And I'm a middle child, and I think it's important to aim for the middle.
I like that. That's interesting.
I
visited Prague. I liked it a lot.
It's beautiful.
Lots of walking, lots of stairs, lots of like the old kind of cobblestone streets. I really liked that a lot.
Yeah, very, very. That's what a lot of those cities used to
I remember
look
seeing the black and white, or not the black light puppet theater shows, like getting really drunk and like taking absinthe and then going to see like the black light comedy like, shows, which were crazy.
Super cool.
There's like a lot of puppetry and other things I remember because I was studying theater.
Their art scene is very, and they have the whole film scene there in Eastern Europe, but specifically in Prague, like new wave film.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool, and all the street art was really cool. They had all these like sculptures and things like that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Wow. So you were there, I was only there for a couple days. So you were there for a few months?
Yeah, I studied there. I studied at Charles University there and lived out in like one of the, like Praha 6 and one of the Prague 6. Yeah. And I worked for a bar crawl for a bit and like hung out.
Oh, that's fun.
Some people who had a bar crawl near Old Town Square. It was a good time. I loved it. I loved it over there. I partied like crazy. So it was kind of like a word too. It was like, balance,
Yeah. Yeah. Aim for the middle in the partying, right? No?
Right.
Yeah. No, I think that when you're in college and you're traveling other countries and you're studying abroad, that's when you're supposed to be a little crazy. It's when you're supposed to like drink too much or, I don't know. I really liked Prague. We did drink a lot. We drank a lot of absinthe there too.
Yeah, I had a few of those nights. They were crazy.
Yeah.
They were fun.
Although I didn't ever trip off absinthe. Not acid, I've never done acid. But I never tripped off absinthe when I was in Europe. It wasn't I tried it once in the US and I hallucinated off that.
Oh yeah, they put some other stuff in there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. But that's cool though. Like I like the aim for the middle thing. That's pretty neat. Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes,
So, is that just to be realistic when you aim for that? Like,
it's more like, not too little, but not too much. Like, in between doing things, like finding balance in my life. I love doing comedy, but I don't think that comedy is my whole life. You know what I mean? And I have other people like my, boyfriend who I want to make sure that I'm not, neglecting because of comedy. I want to make sure that I'm experiencing and enjoying my life as well as pursuing things. So,
because you can't I don't think you can write good comedy if you're not living your life. Like you have to experience life to write about life. And if you're just doing comedy the whole time, then there's nothing interesting to write about.
I mean, there's probably tons of comedic writers who have so much, who are just in it, who are just like constantly thinking in that mindset, and I think that's a good way to be. But I think that's going to make you successful and going to make you an incredible joke writer. You know what I mean? Like you can't write for like late night if you're not constantly writing.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Oh, sorry. I think my somebody upstairs doing something.
Okay.
No, that's a good point. Now we're winding down a little bit. What I always ask people, like we talked about our dreams, like actual dreams at night, but like what are your dreams for like the future, like for yourself?
Wow. Well, in LA to be, a paid comedian is probably my most current one, like getting paid a decent amount of money to do comedy, being able to call it like being a full-time comedian or actress, or a combination of the two, writer. That is my goal, is to make it a full-blown career where I don't have to do work on the other side.
Which, do you have a preference? Like comedian, act, like is there like a...
Writer. I mean, I love doing stand-up comedy. It's definitely like the first thing I love, but I'm not going to hold anything like at a higher, I just, comedy is definitely the scene that I'm most a part of, but I'm finding it really interesting, doing other stuff in LA, doing improv. I started doing, clowning, and I'm working with people.
You're doing clowning? That's
cool. A clowning class.
Oh, that's awesome.
A workshop.
That's
it's called the Idiot Workshop. It's great.
I started, so Oh, I knew that would go off. That's just a timer to keep us track of time. Clowning's really fun. That's actually how I got into comedy a little bit, because I was in serious theater like almost all my life, and I took a comedy class during study abroad, and I was like, oh, this is super fun, and I realized that I could be funny.
Yeah.
And then I started doing improv after that, and that's what
Cool.
Clowning's super fun, though.
It is, yeah. It's not like Red Nose or anything like that. It's just like
No, it's more character stuff and physicality.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I love that stuff. That's great. I think the physical stuff is kind of lost a little bit more. Sometimes we get too wordy with our comedy, you know? And
yeah, I think that you have control over more than you think of. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just the things that you're saying. It's how you're saying them. It's with what tone, with what face. You know what I mean? You can control so much more.
And if you watch some older stuff, like I was recently watching, because I was just on this kick watching first episodes of shows because I'm working on a pilot. So I was watching the first episode of Dick Van Dyke, and how much physicality he does is insane. And I'm like, and you think about
Lucille Ball.
Yeah, Lucille Ball, same way.
She worked, you know, she perfected like every move. And I think that's something that's so interesting, is finding like movements and, you know, gestures and just small words that can, you know, be drawn out into bits that last, you know, an hour. Who knows how long.
That's pretty cool, man. I like that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I was about sneezing. I was in the podcast by saying goodnight and us going to sleep.
Okay.
So, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for listening to Sleeping with Sarah, where I slept with Grace Lusk. You can follow Grace on Twitter at Grace Lusk or on Instagram at GraciePoo, and go to her website for upcoming dates, gracelusk.com. If you like the podcast, please rate and review on iTunes and subscribe. This podcast is brought to you by audible.com. Please go to audibletrial.com/sleepingwithsarah. I'm releasing a new podcast each week. Be sure to tune in to find out who I have in bed with me next. Thanks to Josh Bryant for the music. You can also view the video on YouTube or follow me on Twitter at Sarah Albritton. Until next time, good night.